recording. So this session will be recorded. Somebody had asked whether it was going to be on the YouTube channel or on the website. I'm not sure. That's not my area. I just know that it is going to be recorded. And the recording will be available someplace for people. But we'll work on that part. So welcome and thank you so much for giving your time tonight for this important information. So what I'm going to do is, you're not going to see me. So, hi, that's it. I'm going to share my screen so that you can follow along with this. Is exactly how I would be logging on for students and to enable my parent portal account. So, the one thing that I just want to clarify is many of you received this. I don't know if you can see that. That's good. This type of a document a couple of weeks ago. And in this, you will have your student information that's needed in order to access their account. This information is not your username and password. This is, you're going to create your username and password when you create your account, but this is just the access ID and password so that you can link the account you create to your students. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, and we have created a sample account, a sample student, so that we can go through the exact way to log a student on. So to access the parent portal, you're going to go to SOCSD and the For Parents part of SOCSD. And there's a lot of resources on here. Please check this out and check it out frequently. There's a lot of updates that are posted here, and it really has a lot of resources. So the place where you want to go to is PowerSchool Portal. And I'm going to come back to okay. Are we back again? I lost again. Okay, so I'm back again. I don't know what's going on and why it keeps kind of kicking me out, but I'm gonna keep trying. So you can't sign in as a parent yet because you haven't created your account. If you've already created your account, then you've done this already. But otherwise, we're going to go to create an account because I'm assuming that it's the first time. Okay, once you hit create an account, now at this point, you want to enter in your specific information, not your child's information, your information. So for example, I'm going to enter in Jeannie, and my last name is going to be Sample because it's a sample student. And I am going to use my personal email account. Notice that this is not my student's email account. This is my email account. This is my junk Yahoo email account that has all sorts of junk emails. So yeah. Now I get to pick a desired username. So here's the thing about the desired username. Your username is unique for you. You don't want it to be a username that you can't be the same username as your child, because in PowerSchool, your child has their own username. So you want to create a unique username just for you. So the one that I'm going to pick is going to be JSample. I'm going to use just JSample. I'm doing this for a reason, okay? And now I pick my password. My password is going to, and the biggest suggestion that I have on this is be sure to write down what username and password you pick, because it's easy to forget them, like I did this afternoon, 5 minutes after I inputted it. So Okay, I got kicked off again. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna go back to the shared screen. And let's try this again. So I'm gonna put in my student's name, and my student's name is very original. Student 2, and the access ID is going to be, oh, sorry, student 2, yes, and my access ID is going to be sample E697. So again, this was the unique confidential access ID and password. No. Yeah, access ID and password that was emailed out a few weeks ago. It was the beginning of August that these were emailed out. If there's any issue with you don't have it, you didn't get it, please feel free to email me. Like I said, at the bottom of the screen is for my identifiable information is Jeanne Corcoran, portal@socsd.org. So I'm going to enter in what the password is, 220. I'm going to choose what relationship I am. I am the mother of this child, and I am going to enter. I did this on purpose this way. So it's giving me back an error message. And the reason that it's giving me back this error message is JSample is already a used username at some point in PowerSchool. So I need to come up with something that's going to be different for me and unique for me that hasn't been there before. So I'm going to try 215. I think that will work. Let's see. And of course, that means I have to reset all of these other fields. The requirements for your password is that it has to be sorry, I keep getting bumped off. The requirements are that your password has to be at least 8 characters long, but it can be longer than that. And it will tell you if the password you have is strong enough or not. It doesn't have a requirement of numbers, letters, capitals, lowercase, or any of that kind of stuff. But use your own discretion to make sure that it is secure enough for your liking. Notice that because I already submitted this once, I have to enter the password again. And I am going to press enter. Student 2 has still not been entered. So let's see. I'm going to try this one more time. Yes, this is fun stuff. I don't know if this is because we're getting bumped off. 27, 20, 20. Oh yeah, and then that's the other thing. So I'm not sure if the access ID is case sensitive, and mine came out all in caps. So I'm just going to change that just in case that's something that's causing an issue. So congratulations, you've created your PowerSchool account. And I did write down what my username and password was. So now I can go into my username and password. Oh, I don't think we want all caps on this one. Okay. And my trusty password. And sign in. And if life is good, it's gonna, yeah! Oh, so now it's telling me that my account email has not been verified. So I'm actually going to hop onto my cell phone to just get that verification done. The funny thing is it didn't ask me to verify. Yeah. I think it's because it's had too many tries with this same email. So it is asking me to verify. It's a simple email that was sent to my account, and I'm going to verify it. And now it should be all better. Let's see. So we'll try one more time. JSample 2015. I verified. Okay. So I have now successfully verified this is my child, and this is what the access to the parent portal will look like. In addition to this student, I have another student that I want to add to this account. So 2 ways that can be done. On the registration screen, you could have added multiple students, but if you forget, or if you already have an account set up, we can add a student straight from this screen. If you go to account preferences, this is my information. This is, who I am. And under students, this is where I'm now going to add another student to my file. So my second student has a very original name of student sample. I have the access ID for this student, and I have the access password. I'm going to choose the relationship that I am mother for this child. And voila, that student has been added also. So a couple of things that I want to point out on this. The first is, notice that up here in this corner, we can toggle between the information for both students. So I have pretend students, 1 student in Cottage Lane in 4th grade, and 1 student at the high school in 9th grade who only has study halls. So I think that's kind of amusing. But anyway, so you can see their schedules as soon as you log in. You can see who their teacher is. And one of the things that I think is pretty awesome about this is you can email their teacher straight from here. It'll give you a link straight to to be able to email their teacher individually, okay? Notice that this left column looks a little different for each student because they're in different schools. So the things that will be needed and important in the portal for each student is going to be different based on their grade level. In other words, elementary students, this is the basics of what you need for the elementary students. But when we talk about high school students, we have a little bit more in depth because there's more, high school or middle school, any of the secondary students, there's more information that's available. So I apologize. I keep getting right back in, but I do keep getting booted out. I hope everybody else is not getting booted out. I don't think so.
But I think this may be related to Zoom, but I'm going to work with the team behind the scenes to see if there's something we can do about this.
I'm sorry, George, I couldn't hear you. Can you say that again, please?
I believe this may be related to Zoom. However, I'm going to have the team look into this behind the scenes.
Okay, I have a feeling that it's because I'm using the app instead of the website. So yeah. All right, I'm back again. So let's try this again. A little bit more of what's going on here. So in this left column, you're going to see different information for your student. You'll see that, oh, Lordy B. Okay, yes, grades and attendance. Okay, so you can see okay, we're going to try this. We can see what the grades and attendance are. So this will display their current grades as well as their attendance for the previous week. You can also see for secondary students what the grade history is. So because I just created this student 2 days ago, I don't have any grade history. You can see their attendance history as well for the year. Again, this student just got added, so I don't have any attendance history. You can see email notifications. So this is an important screen. On here, when you get to this screen, this will asks you what information you'd like to receive email notification about. So maybe you want a summary of what their current grades and attendance are. Maybe you want a detailed report showing assignment scores for each class. Or maybe you want a detailed report of attendance. This would be additional email addresses if you needed to, if you wanted multiple people to have access to this. And then finally, down here below is how often do you want these to be applied? Weekly, every 2 weeks, monthly, or daily. So I am going to say that caution you about using daily. That means that every time that attendance is taken, you'll get a notification for it. For secondary, that's a lot. And, you know, even for elementary, I don't know that you quite need daily notification. To me, that's if you have a child that's struggling to attend all of their classes. Otherwise, you know, weekly and bi-weekly should be, or bi-weekly should be fine. So the next piece that's over here is, you know, do you want to apply this to all of your students? And do you want it sent right now so that you can do what's called a push notification? You know, so this is, yeah, so that's what you would want. Be careful not to, yeah, that's it. No, I'm not going to go into anything else. You also can get your teacher comments from the last progress reports would be in here. This is your account preferences. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that in addition to this account is my account set up for my 2 students. If I want somebody else to also have access to the information for these 2 students, I can provide them with the same access ID and access password, and they can set up their own account on that. So the for student 1, this is a little bit more generic because, you know, there's not as much information on the portal for elementary school students. However, so there's 2 things that I do just want to point out. The first is an email that had gone out yesterday of this returning student verification. And returning student verification is what we're trying to do right now in order to verify that the information that we have for your child on our portal is correct. So once we log in, if you click on that, I'm going to go back again to that same spot, okay? It's this part right here, returning student verification. That's where you want to enter in order to go to the verification portal. Enter in your student's birth date. And then you're going to go through the online student verification. It's going to ask you to verify Anything that is in gray can't be changed. Anything that's not in gray can be changed. So if they have a preferred first name, let's say that student would like to be called Stud instead, or something like that, Study instead, you can add that right here. Anything that's in gray, if that needs to be changed, you're going to need to contact the registrar, and the phone number appears here. You can change your home phone number. You can't change your home address because we're going to need proof of address when we're doing that. Yes, I did use Mockingbird Lane. So that next comes the contacts. So the contact information can be verified on this screen. And this is the information that I don't have for the living the dream, living the dream. Okay, so
You're not
this-
alone. You're not alone. Hey, folks, we're sorry. We seem to be having some technical issues.
And as long as people are staying with me, I'm fine with it. I just keep logging in. So this is where you can correct some of the information. One of the issues, though, that seems to be happening is, let's say that this field is blank, but I want to include it as a relationship to the student is father. The issue is that notice that this isn't a pull down. It doesn't allow me to change it. The reason for that is we want to make sure that somebody doesn't claim that a child is that they're a parent of a child that they're not. So like we want to make sure that that stays. So the next, oh, I didn't do that. Hold on, I didn't share it. There we go. There we go. So in order to do that, you have two choices. If I wanted to change this from father to mother, what PowerSchool has directed me today is remove this contact, and then when you come down here, enter in a new contact as contact 2. This way you can enter in the relationship to the student the correct way. To me, that's a terrible solution because, again, I have to type everything in again, but unfortunately, that's what PowerSchool is doing. You know, the other piece is if you really want it changed, like if it needs to be changed and you can't change it here, if it's just changing the relationship, you can email me and I'll change it on the portal on the backside so that you don't have to enter the new contact in all over again, okay? There's some questions for you to answer on it, and then it's gonna ask you to have a priority. So I've only got one contact entered, but you will probably have more, and it's going to ask you to order them. Which one do you want as your first contact priority? Which one do you want as second, etc. And then from the next, we go into our agreements. The agreements page has our free and reduced price lunch meal application and information. You do need to select that, yes, you've gotten this information. You can upload the application back here if you want, or if you follow, I'm not going to open these, but if you follow the application, there is a link to filing the application online. Next, you want to download the internet acceptable user policy, and then indicate, yes, I've received that. I give permission to issue an internet account for my child. I am going to allow my child's work to be included in the school's website. It's really to showcase the student work. So we encourage you to please, do that part. And then finally, the student agreement that they're going to abide by the acceptable use procedures. Please, read this through, download it, and then read it through with your child so that they know what's acceptable and what's not and what's expected. Next, we have our photography and video opt-out procedure. So you can click to read the details of the form. Once you have received that and clicked it, you can choose yes on that. If you choose that you do not want photographs, or you want to opt out of photography or video, you can upload the form back right here so that that can be indicated on there. This is the universal bus designee form for William O. Schaefer. We're going to click yes that we received that. Next we go to the PPRA notice and opting out for specific activities, and again, please read that. And this is just saying that you received the notice. Okay. Next, I'm going to do my affirmation, my electronic signature, and the date. And today's date is September 3rd. And when I go to next, now it's telling me that my contacts are incorrect. I can find the invalid fields, and I can go back and fix them. The invalid fields is that I still have not clicked on that, and resides at. So it tells you what you missed on it. So I can go back and fix that, and then I can go through all of them all over again, or I can go right to the signature page and click next. So you can maneuver in either direction. Now notice that the status is green, it's all good, and now I'm ready to submit. Hopefully this will work, and all is well. Oh, that spinning spiral always gives me anxiety. There you go, and you get a nice thank you. And now, if you need to complete another one, we need this completed for every student because each student, is individual. And so you're going to need to go back to the parent portal, and hopefully this is fixed and it links right back to the parent portal. It's already signed in, and now I can check student number 2 and go through the entire process all over again with student number 2. This is you do it once and that's it, it's done. You don't need to do this frequently. The purpose of this is we want to make sure that our contact information for you is up to date and accurate, especially in these times that we're living in right now, where communication is being done and so much is being done virtually. So we want to make sure that those communication tools are accurate and up to date. The next thing, though, that I do want to point out on this portal is this forms. So I'm going to stop the share for a second and talk. So as Dr. Pritchard has mentioned quite a few times, part of returning back to school during this time requires that each day parents indicate whether students are COVID-free, basically, to make sure that students and staff that are entering the building are COVID-free. So in order to do that, we're in the process still, because it's not finalized yet, of developing an online tool through the parent portal to do this. And now I'm going to go back over and share the screen again to see that. So this form is going to be found over here by where it says forms. And I don't know if it's accurate yet because we have been still working on this. Okay, so keep in mind, this is still a work in progress. We're still working on this. It's not finalized. But each day that your child is entering the school, you are going to need to go to your parent portal and submit a student health questionnaire. I'm going to open the questionnaire again. This is just to get an idea of what it's going to look like. We still have a whole week to try and figure out dotting the I's and crossing the T's. We are still working on that stuff. So basically, it's a health questionnaire that's going to ask, has your child had any of these symptoms in the last 24 hours? Have they tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 14 days? Has the student had close contact with a confirmed or suspected case of COVID-19 in the last 14 days? Has the student traveled outside the United States or to any of the states that are in on the travel advisory list. This is a live link, so this way the list will be updated as the as the governor of New York updates that list. If you have any of the issues with the above questions, you're going to check yes, and it's going to be like, please don't come to school that day. If you don't, you're going to check no, and the I attest. Now, once you finish that, please do not, we're trying to get rid of it, don't click save for later. You need to submit the form. When you submit the form, the response is recorded and you get a nice thank you and all is well. This will, you then need to come back up here and submit the same form for student 2, for your second child. A separate form needs to be submitted for each child. Notice that I don't have the forms hooked up here yet because we're still in process with it, but the form would appear on theirs under the same mechanism. Trying to think of what else on here I wanted to cover. The forms and the location, the logins. Okay, the last thing that I just wanted to include from the SOCSD account, homepage, you will see I've added our, if you want to use the parent portal on your mobile device, on your phone, you can download the PowerSchool app, and the code for that app, they will ask for the SOCSD code, and it is FHQK to be able to download that. I'm trying to think of what else. The last, I think that was everything. I think we're gonna go to Q&As at this point. Mr. Brady, have I forgotten anything?
No, I do apologize. I'm sure you covered portal at socsd.org. I've been trying to answer a number of questions that have been posed, but I will go ahead and start going through these, and we'll take them as we can, folks. Thank you.
And yeah, I included portal at socsd.org as part of my sign-in right here, but I'm also going, yeah. So that's the place to email if you have any questions. All right, here we go.
So let's take it away. First question, when I click on the teacher's name, it sends me to a Google page that I can't email anybody.
Huh, that's interesting. When I click on the teacher's name, it goes, so that has to do with whatever your email account is and how you have your email account set up, because I'm going to share the screen again. Mine goes straight to, we use Outlook. So mine opens up as an email in Outlook. So I'm not sure about that, like what that is about.
So I think you're right. It may be related to the actual email client that you're using on your home computer. Sometimes when you do click on those hyperlinks for emails, it will spawn an extra window similar to what Jeannie is showing you. It may be contingent upon, obviously, your computer and how it's set up. However, on each school website, there is a link to every teacher, and it does indeed have their emails. If you do continue to have issues, what I would recommend is to reach out to your building, and we can certainly work with you to see how we can address it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question. Is the child or a student supposed to use the portal as well?
Okay, so in the high school and in the middle school, those students will be using the portal as well. They'll have their own access and they can use the portal. I taught at the high school, and you know, this becomes one of those things of being careful. This is how a lot of students get to know They were marked absent when they weren't supposed to be absent. They missed an assignment and it affected their grade. It's how they're going to get their grade results. So in the high school in particular, there's a lot of communication that happens with the students as well. Now, the students will not have the username and password that you set up. Each student will have a username and password that is assigned to them. It's their same username and password that they use to log into the network. That's their PowerSchool username and password. That's for the secondary. For the elementary, we don't have it enabled for students to go in that direction yet, only because there's not as much, grades aren't quite the same. It's a different situation in the elementary than it is in secondary. So yeah, so we don't have that enabled. There's not as much of that kind of grading.
And that brings up a great point, Jeannie. Actually, I had responded to one of the questions previously. It was regarding having report cards available through the portal. I did indicate that, yes, currently at the secondary level, we do have that ability, and that we are actually researching and working with the vendor to enable that possible functionality at the elementary level. The difference being, elementary report cards are certainly a lot different than we do have at the high school. They're standards based, so they don't actually display in the same type of manner as our secondary report cards.
Yeah, I think that there is a possibility that for the elementary, that it may end up being a form that will be attached. I'm not sure yet, but we do have to work on that because it's not the same. So it's not, you need to see standards in the elementary. So it's a what do they call it? A placemat kind of thing. And you need to see all of that information.
There was a question. I send the application by mail. Is that okay? I'm assuming that this is probably a new registering student. Oh, okay.
I'm thinking that that's probably for free and reduced lunch. Yes, it is okay. You can send the application by mail. You can do it, you can upload it on this portal, or you can do it by on the application, free and reduced lunch application website, or you can send it in by mail. The address is on the letters in there, or you can drop it off at the school. And if you need, sorry, one more thing. And if you need it printed out, because if you don't have it printed, you can go to the school and they'll give you a printed copy of the free and reduced lunch application.
Okay. We have another question. Says, forgot my password info and requested an email to redo the password about an hour or more ago. Still have not received an email back.
Okay, so I've been on here for 42 minutes. I thought I had responded. Oh, are you saying that you might be saying that you hit the forgot password button on PowerSchool when you first open up, and it's like you put in the username and it says forgot password. So sometimes that takes a longer time to get to your email, but it also can get caught in filters along the way. My suggestion is email me at portal@socsd.org. I'll look it up and I'll hook you up with it, no problem. I cleared out everybody that was asking for access IDs from today and from last night. So I'm open again. I only have like the ones that are a little bit more challenging still left in my email.
This one's pretty straightforward. If both parents have a parent portal account, does the information have to be submitted twice?
For the returning student verification, no, it does not. It just needs to be submitted once. We're trying to verify the student, not verify no, it doesn't need to be submitted twice. I do want to point out though that somebody earlier had asked about the forms. The forms that need to be, the health form questionnaire that needs to be submitted each day, either parent can submit it from either portal. It doesn't make a difference. It just has to be submitted for each child each day.
Next question. My daughter can log into her account, and I'm trying to create my account and used her info where the student info is requested, and it's not working. She claims she can access the portal.
Okay, so you're using the wrong info in where it's asking. It's not asking for your daughter's username and password. It's asking for the username and password that was emailed out in this form. So if you don't have, this was emailed out August 9th, I think it was, somewhere around there, 7th, 8th, 9th. If you don't have it, email me at portal@socsd.org. I'll print out a new one and email it right to you. So the difference is that what you're entering in are not usernames and passwords. You're entering in confidential IDs and passcodes just to link your daughter's account to yours. So her username and password is for her to log in.
Okay. This next question sort of relates to that, but there is some additional. Did the student's access ID and password get mailed to homes or emailed?
It got emailed. It did get emailed. So again, if you didn't get it, if you didn't receive it, it might be in a spam folder, but you can feel free to email me at portal@socsd.org and I will take care of getting it back to you. Our goal, it was through all of this COVID stuff to have less paper going home. That's what was required, is not our goal. I didn't mean to say it like that. The need was for less paper to be going home. So that's why we didn't mail it. We're trying to, and we spent some time calling people if we didn't think that we had the right email addresses. So we're trying to update those email addresses frequently.
If we have someone watching our child to put kids on the bus, can we give them access to complete the health questionnaire? So I assume that's the COVID screening questionnaire?
Yeah. So, I haven't thought of that yet. We didn't really talk that part through. So you can submit the form, the healthcare questionnaire. It doesn't have to be submitted as the student is going on the bus. You can submit it, in the morning because you know the answers before when you're going to work. As far as having somebody else have access to it, that you can feel free to share your access ID and passcode to whomever you want. Just know that that means that whoever it is that's watching your kid, not only would they have access to the form, but they'll have access to attendance and grades and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm not so sure that that's really what you would want to do. My suggestion would be to, for you to do it, even though you're not with them, but I don't know, that's your choice.
Okay, are we required to create an account for the child as well, or is this just for parent and teacher use?
Excellent. So you're not required to create an account for the child. It is for parents. What we were going through tonight was for parent account creation. Your child, if your child is in grades 6 through 12, an account has already been created for them. They will receive, or they should already know, their username and password to be able to access all of the network and also to access PowerSchool. If the child is Cottage Lane or William O. Schaefer, they will not have their own account. They're kind of too young, so it's up to the parent to take care of submitting the forms.
So we have a couple questions around the same topic, and it's something that actually came up earlier today. Can forms be accessed in the mobile app?
So that's a very good question. And I don't think that they will be able to be at, oh, no, that wasn't the question today. So the question today was about saying that the verification wasn't able to be accessed in the mobile app. I think that forms are going to be able to be accessed in the mobile app. Let me look at my, because I have a mobile app for, oh no, I don't. Yeah, maybe. I don't know that I have the mobile app set up correctly right now to see whether but so the verification can't be accessed in the mobile app because it doesn't house the information in the PowerSchool itself. It has, excuse me, a link to a separate page created by PowerSchool, but it's still a separate function, a separate URL that it's going to. But the health questionnaire is in the portal completely, and it's housed right in PowerSchool. I think that might be able to, it should be able to be accessed right in the portal. But I'm not positive. I haven't tried it yet.
Similar to this, the question is regarding the app password or please repeat the code for the app.
Yes, I could do that. Okay, so I'm gonna put it back up. It is FHQ. It's right here, FHQK. And I think they all have to be capitals. It's a 4-character code, FHQK. Yeah. Okay. Next question.
Next one, was the webinar recorded so I can view the entire thing?
Yes, it is still recording up here. Yes, it has been recorded. Both of them were recorded. George, somebody had asked earlier today and emailed earlier today, is the recording going to be on the SOCSD YouTube or is it going to be on the web page?
So the actual recording will be on the web page. We'll probably keep it underneath the parent resources. So that way it can be easily accessible. And certainly, you know, obviously you've noticed we've had some technical issues. Please bear with us. But, you know, I think the information that you're seeing tonight should certainly be helpful. And obviously the portal at socsd.org is always your fallback if you do have additional questions.
Thank you.
All right. Will there be a forms section on the PowerSchool app so we can fill out the temperature form on the app rather than having to sign in a computer to fill out the form each day?
Yeah, that was the question that came up before. And I think, I don't know this yet, like we're still developing it. So it's still, we're still developing the implementation and I haven't tested it yet on the app. But I think that it will be able to because the way that the form is designed, it's right in the portal. It's not, it's in the parent portal. It's not a separate URL. So I think it will be. More information will be coming next week when we send out the final information about the form.
And actually, I do want to thank everybody for actually, you know, giving us some really interesting questions because things like that really help inform us of, oh, wait, we need to address that as well. So thank you.
Yeah.
Next question. I have been using PowerSchool Portal app for years. Does the returning student verification process have to be done on a laptop?
Yes, yes, yes. Because the verification isn't housed in the portal. That goes to a separate URL. So yes, that does have to be done on a laptop or a computer, yeah.
And I think it really goes back to something that Ms. Corcoran reiterated earlier. This is our move to move away from, you know, hard copy, sending out papers, having the ability to change your information via a web-based portal. helps us save, obviously, in mailing costs, paper costs, and overall the environment overall. So thank you. Is there a specific time when the verification forms are due?
As soon as possible. We haven't quite gotten to that because it's, you know, so it's one of those things of, we do need it as soon as possible. However, we don't want to stress anybody out about it, you know, of like, oh, you know, it's got to be. So, you know, within the next couple of weeks would be really perfect. If we can get them in by the middle of September, we'll probably then start looking for. And keep in mind, this is the other piece that's kind of important with that. If your information is incorrect and it's you haven't fixed it, then we're not able to communicate with you appropriately. So like it's in your best interest to get it done as soon as possible, especially since there's so much communication that's going on right now, back and forth, and it's all done virtual.
Okay. There's a follow-up question. What network are you referring to? Do you mean the SOCSD email account?
No, when students are in the building, they need to open up the computer and they need a password in order to log into the computer. That's the network. When they log into that network, each student gets their own file that's in there. But, oh, you know what I did not do? And let me do this to talk a little bit about the Google sign-on. Excuse me. So let's go back to this for a second, because I know that some parents are not familiar with our Google either. So let's do, we use our student emails are their Google accounts. And if your teachers are going to be using Google Classrooms, especially if we're talking about the elementary, you want to be able to access their Google Classroom and to link to it. So I just wanted to take a minute to go through and look at how to get there. You want to go to google.com, and this little patio over here, this 9x9 of it is where all of your access is, all of your apps are for Google. I don't think that I can log out because I think that's going to affect the Zoom. So I don't want to do that. But over here, you should be able to find Google Classroom as one of them. And so, well, actually, yeah, let's do first the Gmail account. Okay, so my doesn't have, there we go, that's what I wanted. Okay, so over in this corner where I have the Dutchman icon, that's where you will see your students' first initials, or to know which student is logged on. If you have multiple students in the younger grades, you're going to want to get familiar with being able to manipulate back and forth on these accounts. And you can add each of the accounts in here. The one that I wanted to talk a little bit about, though, is Google Classroom. Google Classroom is right up here on the top. And once you log into Google Classroom through that, ignore this. This is my stuff that I've been using, but you're going to want to add the Google Classroom. This plus sign right here, you're going to join the class. Your teacher is going to be sending you the class code. Right here is where you would add the class code. Please make sure that where it says you're currently logged in as, that is your child's account. If you need to switch account to their other account to, a different child, then you can switch it there. Each child is going to need to log into and be linked with their own classroom code, Google Classroom, for elementary. I think that's everything on that.
Can you please direct to where you posted the mobile app info?
Yes. So on socsd.org, I'm going to go back to the home page again. I didn't share. Okay, wait. So on the home screen for socsd.org, if you go to For Parents, there is a plethora of resources available on this page. And specifically under Family Resources, what Mr. Brady was saying before is that this is where we'll be posting the links for the copies of this webinar, but that's where the code is. FHQK is the mobile code, and it's right there. Okay.
Next question, will the PowerSchool app have the forms available?
Yes, we believe so. That's still not, we don't know for sure, but we believe so. We're still in process on that. We'll keep working on it.
I did not receive the emails with credentials. I just rechecked. What can I do?
Okay, so portal@socsd.org. That's where you want to email, is portal@socsd.org. Make sure that you please include your child's name, first and last name, and I will download what the credentials are and email them to you. No problem.
What info is entered in student verification question?
Lots of info. Mostly it's contact information. It's making sure that we have the correct email addresses and phone numbers for the emergency contact information, as well as the email addresses for parent contact. I'm trying to think if there was anything else on there. I think that's it. Yeah. And then, but wait, sorry, this is important. All of the forms that are usually handed out in the beginning of the year are attached to that. So your FERPA, your privacy forms, your internet policy form, your free and reduced lunch form, is all included on that portal, on that part.
Okay. Can you enter the daily health check from the app on a phone, or do you have to be logged into the parent portal on a computer to do the daily check?
We're working on it. We're not there yet, but we're working on it. Trying to be able to do it on the phone, but it would be through the PowerSchool Portal on the phone. We don't know yet. We're working on it. Yes.
Okay. Every single day, we need to log into this and answer the COVID attestation form. Is it possible to be texted directly to us, or is there a quicker way to have access to the form?
So I'm going to tell you how mine goes. So because every staff member has to fill out the form, and so how we have the form set up for staff members is that we get an email that just as a reminder, please fill out the form, and the link in that email then opens up the portal that we have to use in order to do the form. So our goal is, and please know that we're working on this. Like, there's been so many things that we're working on putting into place that this is just one of them. The goal is to have an email go out to each of the parents each day, so that you'll get an email reminder and then click in the email, but it will take you to the parent portal to log in. Yeah, the piece that is still that we really haven't looked at all yet, but we want to consider is, can we answer it in the mobile portal, or does it have to be in the portal on a website? And we're going to work on that.
And the next two questions actually sort of ask the same thing. One of the things that and Jeannie actually said, I'm sorry, Ms. Corcoran said this, we are in development. We're working with a PowerSchool sponsored vendor that actually works with PowerSchool. So the full functionality, we're working to see what is available, what's not available, and it may be something that might be a future release. But our intent is absolutely to make it as easy as possible to do it through the app. But it's one of those things, as we said, we're developing this with the vendor, and we're not sure of the full functionality that they can provide at this point. However, if it is possible, or if it's something that we can have in a future release, we will continue to work with the vendor to make sure that this is one of those requirements that would be extremely helpful to our families and students. Must you complete the verification process before you can access health form on the mobile app?
No. No, they're two separate pieces.
How do I add another student to the app? My second child is now in my account, but it's not in the app now.
I'm going to suggest that you might need to, if you just added it on the account online, you might have to just give it a little bit of time for the gremlins to get it over to your mobile app. It'll be there shortly. It does have a little bit of a lag time. If you don't have, if it still doesn't work, please email me at portal@socsd.org.
Same type of question. What do you do if you can only see one of your children on PowerSchool?
Email me, because if you don't have the information for both children, that's fine. Either I'll send you the information or I'll go in on the back end and just link them together.
This next question I'll go ahead and answer. We don't have a bus route or stop yet. Do we still fill out the bus designee form? Yes, absolutely. Please make sure that you fill out those forms ASAP. Get it back to our transportation office to ensure that, you know what, we have your child en route and safe. But please, yeah, that's a separate department, but please absolutely work with our transportation office to make sure that's taken care of. Next question. What time is the daily check-in due for Tempen Coven?
We did talk about that.
So ideally, you know, we want to make sure that you complete this attestation prior to getting on the bus. This is a community thing, right? And we're all looking to make sure that we're taking care of everybody. It's not just our own students, but it's our families and friends that, you know, attend our schools to ensure that, you know, everybody is safe as possible. So certainly we do ask that you try to complete this before the students get on the bus.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do we have Google Guardian? Would be great to manage multiple accounts.
We got that question earlier today, and we need to look into it. We have no other answer for that other than we need to look into it. As we're looking into it, if you have interest in it, just email at portal@socsd.org, and I can get that information back out to you. But we might not have it yet. We might have to, it might be one of those things that we will have to implement.
When do kindergartners receive their information emails?
So that information should be going through the teacher, but please be patient. Yeah, please be patient. The teacher might not get it to them until next week. You know, for how they're doing their logins. You know, the teachers should be emailing you some of that information. It might be a Zoom link information. It might be the Google Classroom information. If it's the Google Classroom information, they would have to include the login for emails and your child's login. Again, we're still working on this stuff. There's a lot going on, so please be patient.
Okay. Will the account on Google Classroom be under the parent's name since my kindergartner does not have his own Gmail account?
So the Gmail account is being provided by, it's an SOCSD Gmail account, and every student in the district does have a Gmail account. So the Google Classroom should be under your kindergartner's Gmail account, not under yours. And it's not quite, it's an SOCSD account. It's not a, it's socsd.org, not gmail.org. So it's .com. So it's not quite, a Gmail, but it is Gmail.
In essence, what Ms. Corcoran's saying is it is a protected walled garden account. This is not an account that's out on the internet network. It's strictly within our domain as a school district. I did not get an access code. I was wondering how I get that.
Email portal@socsd.org. portal@socsd.org, and you will be provided with that information.
All right, Ms. Corcoran, the last question that we have on deck. So, to start the PowerSchool student verification process, what address should I type in?
So to start you want to go into the portal, and on the portal, on the portal, you will see that there is no address to type in. On the portal, you'll see the verification icon at the bottom. I don't know if I can log back in again. Let me get one more time back in, and I'll share that screen one more time. And if you don't have a parent portal account yet, then you're going to need to first stop is going to be to create a parent portal account. So I'm going to do a share screen one more time on this. And let's share that out. So right here where it says returning student verification, that's where you're going to get the verification form from. And it's going to take you right to the website. I think we already submitted this one, so I think it's going to probably kick back out. Oh, look at that, it didn't. Maybe I didn't submit it before. Yeah, that's it. Is that everything?
I don't believe we have any other question. Sorry, one more. Google account for my kindergartner will be given by the teacher.
It should be. It's either going to be from the teacher or from your school, but it's probably going to be from your teacher, because to do the entire grade at once is, yeah, I'm going to say that it's from your teacher. And you should hear from them shortly, like within, the next few days, like by Tuesday or so, with that information. And if you have questions, reach out to the teacher, email the teacher. They'll answer. They're cool with that.
Okay, folks, we do have two more questions. Well, one more, and I want to thank you guys. We will have to actually end this soon. I have a warning that 2 contact relationships are missing, but I can't enter it.
So do me a favor, please, and email me at portal@socsd.org. That's the email address, and I will take care of it for you.
All right, I have to give major kudos to Ms. Corcoran. I'd like to say I helped in any way, shape, or form. I haven't, but the last posting was, thank you so much. You guys are doing great. So thank you, Ms. Corcoran.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening and have a safe Labor Day weekend. I'm going to